Hello and welcome to another session with me, Zahi Syed. For people who don't know me, I am an ACCA member. I have been member for almost a decade now, and my experience largely has been working in India. When I passed my exams in 2007, and post that I have worked with companies like Ernst& Young, WNS, Union Bank of Switzerland, and Sopra Steria. So, because I'm an active ACCA member, and I usually try to connect with the community a lot more, especially on LinkedIn, I've often, gotten a lot of questions around practical experience requirement. And I thought, in my today's video, I will just focus on, helping all the new professionals, or the people, the students who are still pursuing ACC, and they are already working somewhere and they want to record the practical experience. I thought I will do this short video just so that you understand how does this PER really work, because sometimes it's not easy, especially in our environment, in India, where there are already a lot of qualifications that require internship or articleship, and then we try to think if it is exactly the same as how it is done over there. And I think that is where the big disconnect is. So today's session, just to help you understand, first of all, what PER is all about, what are the various objectives, etc. And I will also try to take you to the screen where you record this experience. I've taken one of my students help to get me access to that page where I can show you guys. As I said, this is just a guidance, and of course, if you need expert help, you can always reach out to the ACCA team. Okay, so with that, first things first, what we need to do is, if you want to understand anything about PER, the ACCA Global website has got everything that you need. So in fact, I am right now on ACCA Global website, where I search for PER recording experience, and this is the screen that shows up. Now if you see here, it does give you an overview about what exactly is PER all about, and how you go about getting your employment details added, etc. And how do I record the experience, what are the various objectives that you need to add, etc., etc. So first things first is what is a practical experience, or PER. Now, of course, like any other professional qualification, ACCA also requires you to understand how all of the knowledge that you have acquired over the years studying ACCA is really implemented in the practical world. So therefore, it is not about just the bookish knowledge. You should really know, for example, how does the IFRS really work as far as the accounting is concerned, or for example, how does taxation work, or how does cost accounting or management accounting work, right? So being an ACCA student or a affiliate or a member, you will be pursuing one of the jobs around these categories of job profiles that I spoke about. So ACCA requires you, at least for the 36 months, you record all of these experiences on the portal under the PER, so that you qualify for your membership. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but for you to get a membership, because only by doing the ACCA exams you become an ACCA affiliate, that still does not make you an ACCA member. Now again, obviously the next question comes, what is the big difference between affiliate and a member? Well, when you are an affiliate, it clearly means that you do not understand the practicalities of how the real world really works. On the other hand, a member would, because they have done a 3 years of experience, they are a full-fledged qualified accountant. Yeah. Now, because ACCA is also part of your IFAC body, so like any other body, or like any other chartered accounting body or professional qualification body, ACCA also requires its students to complete this 3 years of practical experience. Yeah. So if anyone says, oh, it doesn't matter if you become an affiliate, you can leave it there. Why will you want to leave it there? Because anyways, you've done your exams, you will be working, record that experience on the My ACCA platform, and 3 years you become a member. That means you will be able to use ACCA in front of your name, yeah, which is one of the biggest achievements, at least for any qualified accountants, yeah, that you can use the the ACCA initials in front of your name, and then again you get access to a lot of other networking activities, a lot of other insights to the work that ACCA does to help their members to keep up with the changing requirements of the business. Like for example, a lot of professional development exercises and trainings gets done for the members. Yeah, so therefore it is very important that first of all you understand that becoming a member is equally important. Therefore, don't stop at just becoming an affiliate. Make sure that once you become an affiliate, record the experience for the 36 months, or if you already have that. Now, this is where the whole flexibility comes in. If you already have the 36 months of experience, please record it. Yeah, ACCA allows you to record the experience that you may have gotten before you started ACCA, while you were doing ACCA, and even after you've completed your ACCA. So that's one crazy flexibility that you get. So if you already have that, record it and you will be a qualified member. Yeah. So therefore, don't stop at affiliate. Make sure that you become a member. So coming to the actual experience, yeah, because now you know that yes, getting that membership is important. Now, how do you get that? Yeah, first of all, try and understand that the PER is trying to get your understanding further improvised on the areas that you've already studied. So therefore, it's not going to ask you anything which you had never ever thought of. Yeah, and at the same time, and this is where the flexibility, which I always go gaga about in ACCA, is that the flexibility kicks in. Is that ACCA also does not decide the career for you. Yeah, like for example, if you don't want to be an auditor for the rest of your lives, ACCA does not require you to start your work experience in audits. Now, this probably will come as a huge surprise to a lot of people who are now listening into and watching this video. Is that how is that possible? We know that all the CA qualifications require audit experience. Well, good news is that you don't need it here. It's only and only if you think that that is where you want to make your career, then yes, absolutely, you will require it. And secondly, of course, if you want to open your own practice, say for example, people who eventually want to open their practice of audit, etc., where you get the license. Remember, I am keeping India as a primary perspective here for me. Yeah, so therefore, keeping that in mind, I was, so I'm making this video. So therefore, if you're not going to be practicing, you're not going to be signing audited financials, you may not need to pursue the audit experience. You may be interested in working in finance, you may be interested in working in accounting, you may be interested in working in taxation. Yeah, so for all of those areas you don't have to get into audits. So therefore, what ACCA does is that it lets you choose the area that you would like to work and take your PER in. Yeah, so therefore, if there are total 9 objectives that are there, yeah, if there are total 9 objectives, from there are 5 objectives which are generic in nature, and those you can attain working in any area discipline of work. Okay, The remaining four are your technical objectives. Yeah, this is where you decide whether you want to get into taxation, costing, IFRS, etc., etc. Yeah, and I will quickly run through those as well for you guys so that you understand what they are. Okay, so this is, as I said, is your home page where you get to know everything. There are a lot of good things. There is a PER quick guide that you can download. There's essential guide. What is it that you need to know? How do you record your experience, etc., etc. All of it is there. Yeah. Now, when I was talking about performance objectives, these are your performance objectives. Yeah. So as you can see, there are 5 essentials. Yeah. And then from the 17 technical objectives, you need to do 4. Okay. So here, if I hit on the drop down, here you have ethics and professionalism. Now, anyone who's done ACCA or who's continuing to do ACCA, they will know that almost every paper has some element of ethics and professionalism. Yeah, so this is the need of the hour, especially as qualified accountants. We need to make sure that we exhibit this through and through. So therefore, wherever you are, you will need to exhibit while you've been working how you are ensuring that the ethics are being followed, the professionalism are being followed. Now again, though I'm a tutor, I don't want to start to go into it is integrity, objectivity, and all those professional and ethics requirement that is there by the ACCA board, right? So that's one key thing, and that you will do anywhere you go. So whether you're working as an accountant or a tax person, you will need to show that how did you make sure that you were ethical throughout your time there, you were professional throughout your time there. Yes, you need to give examples in certain number of words that how do you believe that you have attained this objective. Okay, so that's the first essential. These are compulsory. There is a non-negotiable on these ones. Yeah, you'll have to do these 5. Stakeholder relationship management. Now again, what is the relationship management? It is working with, say, your bosses, your peers, your colleagues, your deputies, suppliers, your government agencies. So stakeholder relationship management, how do you go about managing these relationships? Give the examples. How did you work with your boss? How did you work with your team members? How did you work with the external suppliers? Yeah, as long as you can explain that in so many words, that objective is met as well. Then comes strategy and innovation. Now today, innovation has become so important, and anyone who's attended the number of sessions that I've done with colleges all over India, especially on the robotics, is that you can't any longer be sticking to the status quo. That means the way it is working, let it go. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to keep coming up with new ideas. How do you improvise? How do you make sure that you are able to make certain further improvements in the existing performances? Yeah, so strategy, how do you help in coming up with these ideas, and how have you implemented these ideas, what gains have you gotten from them? All of that will come under strategy and innovation. Then comes governance, risk and control. Now this again, people who've done the audit paper, they will know that this becomes a very this becomes a very important part of your the way the businesses work, especially ensuring that there are relevant controls in your accounting processes, in your business processes. There is a full-fledged risk management systems. Like for example, today the listed companies, they have to talk about how are they managing their risk. It has become so critical that in their annual reports they have to keep a section of what are those risks and how are they managing it. Yeah, so and then the governance, when do they meet, how often do they meet, what do they discuss, who are involved in the overall governance. All of these are important. So if you can show that you've learned this, you were part of these aspects, there you go, you've attained another essential objective. And the last is leadership and management. Now, of course, people here straight away say, oh, how can I become a manager in 3 years time? That is not what this objective is all about. It could be that you were given a project, and within that project you were able to show leadership and management skills. So it is the skill and not the actual position. Yeah. So again, something which is a myth that people think, oh, this is, how is that possible? You just need to show that you have been able to attain, those skills. Yeah. So this or these all put together become your 5 essential objectives of the practical experience requirement. Yeah. So as long as you have been able to showcase that you've achieved this, you are absolutely done with these main 5 objectives. Yeah. Now you can do this, as I said, by working at a CA firm, as a practice firm, at a bank, at a consultant, at a taxation practice, or at an accounting or in an MNC or anywhere. As long as you know and you're able to prove it through the kind of you need to make sure that you're able to showcase when you are recording this experience that yes, in your experience you could exhibit ethics, professionalism, you are able to exhibit strategy and innovation, you are going to be able to meet these objectives. Yeah. Then comes your technical objectives. These technical objectives, as I said, are total 17 in nature, but if you look at it, they are further divided into several categories like reporting, financial management, management accounting, taxation, audit assurance, advisory consultancy, and data, digital and technology. Now, as I was saying, that if you are not interested, for example, in audits, so you can actually take management accounting, you work in an industry, you work in any consultancy, and you will be able to exhibit evaluating management accounting systems, planning and controlling performance, monitor performance. So very simply, you went to work at an MNC, and there are hundreds and thousands of KPOs today where you're working. Now you will be working at these organizations where you may be part of, say, financial planning and and analysis team, FP&A, they are very commonly called, right? Now in there, your job is to actually help the senior management, prepare budgets, forecast, do variance analysis, etc., etc. So if you are part of that profile, here you have your management accounting objectives, all 3 of them being met. Yeah, because you are doing that day in, day out. Yeah, similarly, if you are in, say, a finance department, you are reporting to, say, a controller or a CFO, evaluating investments and financing decisions, managing and controlling working capital, identifying and managing financial risk. Yeah, like you're part of hedging, etc. There you go. You're able to meet these objectives. Similarly, in reporting, if you are recording transactions, preparing reports, analyzing reports, becomes your corporate and business reporting. So it is extremely simple. It is extremely simple that by even joining a corporate as your first job, you will be able to get these experiences, and you should eventually get your membership. Yeah. So this is, again, as I said, one common myth was that I have to go for audits. No, you don't have to go for audits. Yes, there is audits here. And as you can see, within the audits, you can prepare and plan for audit, collect and evaluate evidence, and review and report on findings. Yeah, which of course anyone who is working in the audits department, they will agree that yes, we are doing that. Now, the beauty of these objectives are that even though the 3 technical objectives fall in one category, they still require you to take up one additional from another category. Now it could be from, if you are in management accounting, you take one from financial management or reporting or audit, etc. Or something as new as data, digital and technology. Now data analysis and decision support, these are so essential today. Like I can't even, stress enough. They are so important, right? So if you're able to understand how these data or how this data is used to take decisions, and these could be strategic decisions, right? So if you are part of that process, you can quite easily show that yes, you've met this objective as well. So the point, my friends, today is that getting the PER is no longer difficult. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've already done this, you have already got 3 years of experience in audits, in industry, in consultancy, in business. It is absolutely fine to record that and get your membership. Yeah, but please, it is important to remember that we are ACCS. Yeah, we have to be ethical. We have to make sure that we don't get any kind of dummy recording here. Please, respect the profession. Yeah, it is important that you only record the experience that you've actually gotten. Yeah, so I will, put enough impetus on this point, because I know a lot of times people don't want to go through this. But remember, this is as I said, once you're done with your ACCA, you are anyways working. So why not record that all experience, right? So this is your 17 objectives, from which you have to do 4, and the remaining 5 are your essential objectives. Yeah, so my primary objective of this video was to run you through what these objectives are and how you can achieve it by working anywhere, not just at the practice. You can work in a bank, you can work in a practice, you can work in a consultancy firm, you can work at a accounting firm, you can work anywhere, and you can still get this experience done. Okay, now another very commonly asked question is, how do ACCA know that whether this experience is actually correct or not? Absolutely correct. And this is where the supervisors come in. Yeah, the supervisors, which you can see over here, there is a separate section here. Talk to you about who these supervisors can be. In a very, very simple words, when your practical experience is being recorded, there are 2 aspects to it. One is your 36 months, and 2 is the technical knowledge that you're getting. Now, as long as you can show that you have done 36 months of experience, yeah, so any supervisor, not necessarily a qualified accountant, any supervisor should be able to sign that aspect of that, yes, this person XYZ has worked with us for 36 months. Yeah, and of course I am assuming that you will do this over a period of time. So for example, at the end of year 1, you record your experience and you send it to your supervisor, they sign it off for you, and your 1 year is completed, and it will show on your dashboard that I'm done with my 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever. So that's one thing. The second is your technical experience. Now for the technical experience is where you require a qualified accountant. Now who is a qualified accountant? Qualified accountant are any accountants whose bodies are part of the IFAC. So for example, as I said, I'm making this from an Indian perspective. A chartered accountant, from ICAI should be able to sign off your technical experience. Yeah, along with obviously the ACCAs. Yeah, so if you are working in an organization, you need to make sure that your technical experience is signed off by a chartered accountant, because at the end of the day, when you are recording it, you will need to mention, from, their membership number, you will need to upload their membership certificate, so that, when the audit takes place, and now I'm not saying that every experience gets audited, but who knows, right? If it gets audited, they will be able to see the certificate. They may reach out to the bodies and they will confirm whether this person is really a CA or not. Yeah. So therefore, for the technical experience, you need a chartered accountant or an ACCA or a qualified accountant to sign off those technical objectives that you do. Yeah, and those objectives that you do, all the 5 and 4, all the 9 odd objectives. Whereas the practical experience, which is, those 36 months, those can be done by any non-qualified accountant supervisors as well. So this is another myth that, what if I don't, because I know now it is probably coming to a lot of you. What if I don't have a chartered accountant or an ACCA working at our organization? Fair enough. And again, as I said, ACCA is all about flexibility, and that's why I'm a big fan and an advocate of the qualification. If there is no ACCA, CAs working in your organization, ACCA allows you to get that experience signed off by another third person as well. Now, who could this be third person? This could be a person who is like, for example, your company's auditors. Yeah, they will know you. They know you work here. They know, what kind of work you do. It is the easiest to get them to sign off your experience. Yeah, if not, there could be other professionals who are associated with your work, with your organizations. You can reach out to them. Please avoid reaching out to your friends and family to sign it off, because at the end of the day, they are, in our ACCA language, not independent. Yeah, so therefore reach out to the people who will be able to independently assess whether through your work you have been able to achieve these objectives or not. Of course, there is a process where, if it's an auditor, they will reach out to your manager and ask whether, the person is doing these activities that they've, put in. So of course, there is a whole system around it. And as I said, my video is not to get into deep dive into it, because I would also like you to, visit the platform yourself and look for yourself. And of course, if you still have queries, I'm on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me there. Yeah, but the point is, I want you from this video at least get rid of that myth that, I have to have a chartered accountant as my boss. It doesn't work like that. You can have, a non-CA as your boss. You can get someone else to sign off your technical experience as well. Yeah. So make sure that you are able to get that 36 months and your 9 objectives signed off as soon as possible for you to get your qualification. Yeah. Now, just one last thing, because as I said, I would like you to show, that screen of how it looks. So here you have your PER screen, the experience screen, where you are going to record your practical experience. And here, as you can see, you will add your employer's name, you will add the address, whatever, zip code, etc., and you will save. And when you go to the next screen, that is where you start to, record your experience. Now, as I said, I am using someone else's access, so I will not be able to show you exact system, but I'm happy for anyone who is stuck at this point and they would like to know how it works. As I said, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll be more than happy. But once you have recorded the employer details, yeah, over there, the next screen is usually going to be where you start to record your experience. Yeah, you start to record what are the roles and things that you've done, which objectives you think you've met, and how you have met them. You put in so many words and you explain what were the things you were doing to achieve these objectives. Yeah, so the supervisors 36 months is a fairly straightforward. You just have to mention the dates and it goes to the supervisor's mail ID which you mention and they approve it, and your 12 months, 24, 36 gets recorded fairly quickly. But your technical experience, that will require a lot of detail about how do you believe or why you believe you've achieved those. Okay, so again, I would request you to visit the ACCA Global website. There is enough information. There is also very helpful videos here and maybe on their YouTube channels which you can access and you can see how it is done. Otherwise, you can always reach out to advocates like myself on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to help you. And lastly, and most importantly, membership is important. Please make sure that don't stay as an affiliate forever. Move yourself to the membership. If you join the community, you will receive a lot of support from the community as well. Yeah. So on that note, I wish you all the very best. Thank you for listening in, and please feel free to share these videos in your groups with your friends and families, so at least they know the reality between the PER or the practical experience requirements for ACCA. On that note, thank you so much. Wish you all a very best. Bye bye.